Hello, everybody. You are listening to the New England Haunts Podcast, Episode 2. My 2022 visit to 13th World Fright Park in Palmer, Massachusetts. Like that?
Yeah. Did you make that?
Did what?
Did you make that?
Yeah, I did. I recorded it all last night with my piano, my guitars, and my drum kit, and my professional recording studio and everything.
Well, you can make stuff on GarageBand and shit.
I have never learned how to use that damn thing, and it pisses me off every time I look at it. But anyways, I am your host, Hallowoosh. It is January 2023, and with me, as always, is my curious little creature, Noobs. I want you to introduce yourself like that every single time.
All right. Curious creature, huh?
Yeah, I'll have a little something new for you every episode. It'll be all right.
Thank you for having me on the podcast. I'm also a fan, not as much as Whoosh, obviously, but I'm a big fan of the haunt industry and haunted attractions, so it should be fun.
Yeah. First, before we do anything, let's get into it. What are we drinking?
Nothing alcoholic for me right now.
That's fine. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tap into some B Hoppy from Wormtown Brewery down here in Worcester.
I got a Celsius energy drink.
I am so happy for you. India Pale Ale?
That's a good one.
6.5? I hear really good things. This is the first time I'm trying it. Ooh! B Hoppy is our take on the Left Coast IPA. What's Left Coast?
West Coast?
Left Coast. It says L-E-F-T, Left Coast IPA.
Yeah, but it's the left is west.
You guys, you're so far left. Stupid.
How is it?
Never a big fan of IPAs, to be honest with you, but this is nice.
Does it have a can down date on the bottom?
7/7/22. Should have drank it sooner.
That's the thing with what I learned about IPAs is they don't last as long as like other beers.
Yeah.
So you gotta drink them within like a month or two usually for the best flavor.
True.
Because they have so much hops in them, and the hops...
Yeah, but this one has a smiley face on it.
It's
all right.
Probably still good, though.
This podcast is not about beer. We just like it.
But it could be about beer at certain points.
True. No truer words have ever been said by my curious little creature. All right, let's get into it. So... the first...
Wait.
Jesus Christ. I quit. We're done.
So you want me to, if I have a question, to pop in whenever I want to?
Literally, yeah. If you have anything to say, pop in and do your regular banter of, yeah, okay, yeah, that's true stuff.
Do I get something special if I do that?
Yep. You get a big old treat.
What's that going to be?
Close your eyes and open your mouth.
That's scary.
Well, this is a haunt podcast. Okay. This podcast is not about this stuff either. Let's get into it. So, the first destination of the tour this year in 2022 was 13th World Fright Park in Palmer, Massachusetts.
Palmer.
Why?
Palmer.
All right. Apparently, this guy knows Palmer.
Doesn't everybody?
Everybody knows Palmer. Brand new first year haunt, sorta. So this is the first year for a second location of 13th World, which has been in Cumberland, Rhode Island since 2017. Before that, it was known as the Haunted Hill, and I believe they began all the way back in 2002 or 3. And I went to the Haunted Hill 3 times before it became 13th World, twice as 13th World. And I gotta say that the times that I went when it was Haunted Hill, I really enjoyed it. It seemed like a lot of people really liked it too, except for maybe their last year, but that was kind of their transition year. There was never a giant group of people. It changed up a little bit every year, and it essentially was just a walk through the woods with some sets. But a couple things that made it special, there was the first 2 times I went, there was a weird bus ride that took you from the ticket line to the start of the haunt. And they blacked out the sides of it, and you didn't really know where you were going. It turns out they just kind of drove you around in a little field for a little while, but they drove you for like 3 minutes, so it felt like you were actually getting taken to a place far away.
Yeah.
And they took like all the middle seats out, so you were sitting like with your backs up against the windows, and there was actors running up and down the middle like clowns hanging off of stuff, and people with chainsaws. It was just really creative. Well, yeah, they got rid of that. What?
That's good. That's good when a haunt does that. Like, if they have a thing where they have to bring you somewhere where they actually make that into like a little thing. Like if it's like a tractor or something that they have to bring you somewhere, they actually haunt that up a little bit.
Yeah, they actually theme it up. Yeah, plenty of places I've been to, which is like just the transportation unit. It's like, this is boring.
Yeah.
Well, at least throw some freaking hay in it or something. No, but that was awesome. They had to get rid of that because the place started getting way too popular. One of my best memories in my entire career of haunt touring actually happened at this place. Maybe the first time that I went there. I remember walking towards the line of people, and there was this little girl who was in a ghost face scream mask. And she was staring at me the whole time I was walking to her. And just like creepy. And she had this little plastic knife, and I got closer to her, and she raised the knife up like she was going to stab me or something. And I just looked at her like, "You're awesome." And this was a guest. This wasn't like an actor or anything.
Oh, really?
That. Yeah, she was just like staring at me. I'm like, "What are you staring at?" And I thought maybe she thought that I was one of the actors, which a lot of people mistake me for because I'm just a big guy alone. So and turns out that she was really into this haunted house stuff, but she only been to a couple of them. It's just she wanted to go to as many as she possibly could. She was there with her aunts and her mother or something like that, and I guess she was visiting from Ohio or Florida or Pittsburgh or something like that. But she loved the stuff, apparently. She couldn't stop talking about it. We went through the haunt together, and she was having a great time, making all the comments and stuff, and we got to the end of it, and I had to give her stuff. Like, I felt like, get them while they're young, you know? And,
whoa.
No, not like that. Shut up, okay? God damn, man. So I ran to my trunk. Not like that. I went to my trunk and I had some flyers from the Gulag. I had an extra T-shirt, I think, from Haunted Overload, and a couple like vampire teeth and just gifty stuff like that, and the 30th issue of Haunt World magazine. I had a few copies of that for some reason. And I gave it all to her. Like, yo, if you're really into this, like, here you go. Here's a starter pack. It wasn't a starter pack at all. It was just something.
Yeah.
But it was cool. She freaked out. She's like, oh my God, so cool. So I hope somewhere she's haunting nowadays and having a great time. But who knows?
Maybe she's listening to this podcast.
She could be. If you are, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Anyways, so the story that I remember is 13th World was more or less a place owned by the Cumberland Parks and Recreation Department. But in 2017, the originators of the haunt renamed it 13th World. And I thought it had something to do with like the town not wanting to have their hands in it that much anymore. I could be wrong about that, but that's just what I think I remember. And this new location seemed like it might be more of a slow transition to bring all of 13th World to a new spot that is completely owned by the directors and not the town. Now, these guys have had their hands in it since the beginning. They're the ones that built it, they make it, they designed it, everything, right? But it was still kind of like town property, and the Parks and Rec department anyway, you know, they had a hand in it for a long time, and they wanted to try to get, I don't know, I'm thinking that's what I remember, sorry. But honestly, the two times that I went when it was 13th World, I just thought it was very unorganized, really chaotic. Like I said, they had to get rid of that bus thing in the beginning because there was just way too many people.
Yeah.
And there was way too many kids with like chainsaws all over the haunt, not even like at the end, you know, just everywhere. The cops were showing up. There was very little actual theming. Lots of kids just like with store-bought masks that don't really fit their sets. Not much effort trying to like hide or make a real scare. I could go on forever, you know. It wasn't awful,
Yeah.
but it just felt like it was supposed to be more, especially because you knew how it was when it was Haunted Hill, and it was just a complete like, let's just change everything and make it worse. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
The following audio clip is from the parking lot of 13th World in 2020.
Well, that was a mistake. Operations-wise, there is no signage as to, like, where people are supposed to park. I know we got, like, this big, giant dirt lot here, but there's no lines or anything. I didn't see anybody trying to freaking guide anybody. All they got is that fence right there. Now, if you know the place, you know that they usually go up the hill over on that side. But everybody is seeing everybody piling up over here because that's where they're exiting. So that's where all these people are going. It takes them a while to freaking understand it. Okay, and then they go back way over there. Big, long walk, too. Very unnecessarily long walk. I bought the Fast Pass option. But I go up there, they scan my code should freaking read as a freaking Fast Pass code, and there was no word on, like, do I get a different ticket? Do I go into a different line? Anything? Nothing. But I will say that my favorite moment was when I took my girlfriend, and they had this fog tent where you walk in, and it's nothing but fog in there and, like, one light. But the light is reflecting off of every single particle of fog in there. So a lot of different haunts have this type of stuff. It's not the fog swamp where you just see the laser line. No, every single particle of fog in there is illuminated. So it's like if you close your eyes and you see a color instead of black. So in here it was all green. Now, it was just a tent though, so I could just feel my way down one vinyl side, then the other vinyl side, and then there's the exit. My girlfriend didn't seem to understand any of that, so she just kind of stood in the middle of the tent like, what do? I can't see anything. Because it's so thick, it's like you really can't see anything except a color.
Yeah.
And I just kind of like walked for like another 50 feet thinking she's right behind me. Oh God, she's lost in there. And I didn't want to go back in and try to find her.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm going to bump into somebody or something like that. She'll find her way out. Nope, she didn't.
So why didn't she just keep going? She just stood there?
Yeah, it's like... Well, I thought about it. It's like... I guess like a lot of people, she has a fear of touching things she can't see. That's pretty legitimate,
Yeah.
you know? It's so... You know, she might touch and she might bump into somebody else. She might touch something wet or gross.
Yeah.
You might jam your finger in the corner of something if you walk fast enough. I mean, yeah, it's all legitimate, so I understand. But
Yeah.
I guess me just going through so many places, I know what a vinyl tent feels like, and I know that there's a certain pace that you walk where you're not going to hurt yourself.
Right.
You know, if...
And usually, like, in a room like that, the guys aren't going to put, like, a ton of shit in there that you can, like, run into, like...
Yeah, or, like, trip over or something like that.
Yeah.
Usually, yeah. Sometimes those dark out mazes there, they put the freaking stupid electric zap thing. Have you ever felt that before?
I think so.
Yeah, they put these little electric strips, and you'll be just, like, feeling the wall, and then all of a sudden you hit those strips, and it zaps you. And you're like, what the frick? Hey, I was having fun here, jerks.
So what'd she do eventually? Like, how'd she get out of... How'd she make her way out?
I think there was an actor in there. I don't know what they were doing, but eventually they bumped into her and then guided her out.
Okay.
And I was just staring there. I was just pointing and laughing at her.
Was it just you guys in the group?
Or was at that point, yeah. Well, I mean, we probably didn't go in there just as the two of us, but
yeah,
you know, I was at that point where I was like, stand aside and let people get ahead of us, let people, you know, get some distance in between people. So, yeah, it was just the two of us at that point. So that's a little bit of what I'm remembering about the old days there. And I was never really a big fan of their marketing, even when they were Haunted Hill. They were always using like stock video footage and pictures from other places to make it look way more cooler than it actually was. I was pretty much just over it, so I didn't think I was ever going to go back to a 13th World. But summer of 2022 came around, and I started looking at what was going on to make up an October schedule for me, and most of my ambition was in home haunts, and then I see that 13th World is opening up a new location, and opening night is early in the season, like September 24th, a Saturday, and I didn't really think much of it because I kind of have this sour taste in my mouth about the location in Rhode Island. But I'm still searching all over New England for haunts opening, and I find Haunted Gallows in Rhode Island is a first-year haunt. Haunting on the Ridge in Connecticut, first-year haunt. The Forsaken Lands, first-year haunt. And a handful of other places that were either new this year or coming back from years from not doing a haunt. And it just felt like being the guy that has gone to all of these big-name haunts to super small, obscure ones all over New England. I kind of felt this obligation, I guess, to have like as much knowledge about New England-based haunts as possible. You know, almost like being a collector, I guess. So I forced myself to go check out all these new ones, and 13th World Fright Park was first on the list.
When you find out there's a first-year haunt, do you want to like go to that for their first year, or
yes.
is it like?
Yes, I really do. Like, I think about it. I guess you can kind of tell from their social media and their marketing about like what they're trying to do and if they're good. But it doesn't really matter to me because, like I said, it's kind of like being a collector. You want to know where they're coming from and how they built up to that spot. Like, I wouldn't want to freaking sit on my ass for 5 years while a haunt builds itself and then go that 5th season and say like, oh man, I could have been seeing this whole time. Like, no, like I don't have a good fresh perspective on how places grow, and I think that feels more important to me.
Yeah,
to kind of grow with them, I guess. So, anyways, this spot that they got in Palmer, Massachusetts is actually awesome. I guess it used to be an old restaurant. It's got a pavilion, a big softball field, maybe 2 of them, a big parking lot area, lots of woods. They got the Kobog River on one side, and then the train tracks on another side. So it's like it's separating them from anybody that could be considered residential. So they're not bothering anybody. It's great. Right off a major road. They have a great entrance sign. A lot like the one in Cumberland, Rhode Island, too. They got in touch with Cyclone Signs from Dallas. They make a whole bunch of signs for haunted attractions all over the country, and they're awesome. I've always said that the best thing about 13th World in Cumberland was the sign that they made. These big silhouettes of dead trees on either side of it, and there's a red sky behind them. It's all illuminated. I think they had like a portal or moon thing in the middle of it with 13th World across the top of it. And Palmer had this great one. It's like a big evil jack-o'-lantern, and it's like against a barn facade, and just big. It's just good stuff that they made. And despite how amazing the sign looked, and you can't possibly mistake it for anything else other than the entrance to this place, they still had a guy directing traffic into this place, which is fine, but it's just that the guy was waving me on to come in, like he knows that I'm going to pull in. I don't have my directional on or anything. And then I pull by him, and he's not like telling me to stop or slow down. Body language is non-existent in this guy. and I drive by him, and he's like, "Oh, you gotta go!" Because that's all I can hear when the window's up. And I'm like, "Whoa, shit, what?" And I slam on the brakes. I roll down the window. I'm like, "What?" And he goes, you gotta go to the left. I'm like, "What do you mean you gotta go to the left? What are you talking about?" "Yeah, right down there where those cars are." "Oh, yeah, you want me to go park where the cars are?" You had to scream? Like, what, you sure, though? I thought I was supposed to drive off this cliff. Or through that building over there. That was my second option. Were you sure I got to go park down there? Where the 3 other freaking parking attendants are with their wands? Oh, wait, down there? Okay, thanks, guy. Thanks. God, you saved my life. God. Sorry, that guy pissed me off.
So, the original spot was in Cumberland, Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm.
How did they find themselves in Palmer, Massachusetts?
That's a great question, noobs. So when we showed up there, I have no idea. It looked like this place was on the market since like 2018. Palmer's not that far from Cumberland, Rhode Island.
Yeah, I mean, it's not but it's not close either, really.
Well, I mean, if you're really looking for a spot, like I said, they got a great spot. They were probably looking all over the place. There's not a lot of commercial spots that already have, buildings and a parking area and everything like that. So, I mean, I can't imagine it took them too long to, make a decision on that.
Just
spot.
looking around New England, pretty much, basically.
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't have gone too far from the original spot there. I don't know where everybody lives, but no, like I said, a great spot. You can't say no to it. It was on the market for a while too. Not a huge, what's the word I'm looking for? Sought after area, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a sleepy little town, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, like nice little downtown Palmer. But yeah, not like everybody's trying to move there, Yeah. It's just it really is kind of more of a suburb of or rural suburb, that area of like Springfield area, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, not I don't know. I can't say anything more. So I'm just going to shut up. All right, bye. See you next week. Okay.
Bye. Good show.
Yeah, but the freaking parking attendant there, I'm not trying to focus my review of this place on this parking attendant. I just hate when people don't communicate right. Very little patience for that crap.
For all you people at the haunch, just remember when Whoosh comes by to communicate properly.
You better, and that's my definition of proper communication too. All right? Not your bullshit. So, speaking of bullshit, your brother Nick joined me that night. And he had not been to a haunted attraction since 2010. Can you believe that?
Wow.
12 years ago.
That's
Man.
crazy.
So it was exciting to see how he would feel about this place. And I'd say this place was actually a pretty good attraction to, like, introduce people into the world of haunted attractions. Like, it just had that right amount of everything. Not too extreme, not too kid-like, family-friendly, I guess. A little bit of everything that makes this stuff really nice. So we're in the parking lot area, and we can see that all this activity is down at the far end of the parking area. But the building is up this hill, and there's no real stairs or anything to try to get to this place. There wasn't really any good lighting there. We found this staircase that led up to the pavilion, but it was all rotted and everything, so we thought we were going to die. But that's how we got up there. We got to the top. There's the ticket booth, which apparently used to be an ice cream stand, so it's actually perfect for a ticket window. I didn't realize that they actually had a touch option, and I didn't even have to think twice about it. So the tickets were $30, a little steep for what the place was, if you ask me. $15 extra for the fast pass. Whatever. We didn't need it. We were like one of the first people there that night. And only $5 extra for this, what they call the Touch of Fear.
Ooh.
And all right, noobs, you ready to meet the newest member of this show?
No.
Oh, okay. We'll do it later then. Noobs, I want you to meet the old story narrator guy, Abraham.
Oh, shit.
All right, this is off of their website so that you can hear what this Touch of Fear is all about.
Okay.
This year you can experience 13th World like never before. For an additional $5, you can get a touch of fear. This will enhance your scare experience by allowing our monsters to touch you. You will receive a special necklace that identifies you as an extreme lover of fear. If touch of fear becomes too intense, simply take the necklace off.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Did you like him?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty good. What did you think?
Riveting.
Well, I have something to say about it, but I was going to see what you thought.
What, about the touch of fear or the guy?
The guy. I mean, it's kind of a little creepy, but, I mean, it's not like, I don't know.
Oh, I wasn't trying to go for creepy. I was trying to go for, like, old storyteller. Like, wise guy in a cabin in the woods.
Wait, was that you?
No!
Oh, so what are you saying you were trying to go for?
Because that's what I was going for.
Oh. No, it was a little creepy. I feel like the ending, he should have said a little something at the end, though. I mean, just being nitpicky about it.
Oh, no. Well, that's just right off of the website. That's what the website,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what the hell they mean by special necklace. Jeez, it's just a freaking glow necklace.
Yeah.
Costs pennies. And apparently the one in Rhode Island has been doing this touch of fear for years, too. I never knew about it. And you know what I think is funny about these necklaces, though? These glow necklaces, they don't have, like, a standard meaning in the haunt industry at all. So here they use it to let actors know that you want to be touched, right? And I remember when they used to use them just for little kids to tell actors to stay away from them. I even saw places that just give everyone a glow necklace because it shows the actors that guests are coming. So there's like a different definition of what the hell these things are supposed to be used for everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just think it's funny for haunt goers, like, because they're probably getting all confused, like, oh, they have the touchy option again. And it's like, no, that's just for people who don't want to be touched. It's like, what? So I had to try it again. I signed a waiver, blah, blah, blah. I got too excited. It was opening night, and the place had just opened like 10 minutes before we got there. And I thought that I could be the first one to ever get the touch of fear option, but apparently, even by that time, they sold plenty of them. And I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But is it weird that I want to be the first person to be touched at a place?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Did Nick get it?
No. No. Nick wasn't into it just yet, but it's kind of funny, though, because we determined it's actually more fun for people who don't get the touch option, because they get to watch their people get dragged around and pinned up against walls and stuff all over the place. So It's almost like it throws another actor that plays the victim that actually looks like a victim. It's not just a bunch of kids trying to look creepy and crazy. You know, it's a good strategy.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
And on our way out of the attraction, we saw that there was a whole party group of people, and they were all coming in. They all bought the Touch of Fear option. And I have no idea if that went well or not, because, I mean, you know, I was grabbed and ran through the haunt, pinned up against walls, and like 3 sets ahead of my group. So how can you do that to the whole group?
Yeah,
it's almost like you run everybody in that group through the entire haunt. They don't see anything. So I don't know. I don't know how that worked out.
That's the one thing about that. It's tricky. So how physical did they get with you? Like, as far as...
It all depends on the actor, really.
Yeah.
Like, the first one was just this girl that was probably, like, 18 to 25, you know, and she just grabbed my wrist and just ran me into, 3 scenes ahead of me. But that's all she did. And then she told me to sit down.
Yeah.
But it could have easily been a 30-year-old guy that grabs my wrist, really sprints me through the place, and then shoves me into a seat.
Yeah.
So it's not like everybody has a standard, right? It's just what you can or can't do.
Yeah.
And there was, like right after she told me to sit down, like a Jason character came up and lifted me up against the wall and pinned me there. And then a couple scenes later, there was like a butcher guy, and he threw me onto a table and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't know what works better for people. Maybe I guess you just try a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a girl that has it, they're not gonna rough her up as bad as you know.
Well, that's not cool for you to say anymore, noobs.
Well, no, I mean, especially if it's a guy doing it, they're not gonna...
A girl can rough me up if she wanted to.
No, I mean the girl with
a guy
the
can
touch of
kiss
fear.
me right on the lips if he wants to. It's 2023, noobs.
And, kids as well.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, in terms of, like, what is scary. I've seen people that they're not scared when somebody roughhouses them or mad or anything like that. It's just that's not scary. But if a little girl comes up and then starts, like, tickling your back or, like, doing these, that does scare them a lot more than the physical stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Beneath the Dark by Shadow Symphony.
So we get in, and unlike the Cumberland location, they had a few vendors there. They had a hot dog guy. They got people selling souvenirs, gifts, candy, all the fun stuff. And we looked down this hill a little bit, and it's almost like a midway. And they have like all of these photo ops all over the place with all these different sets for movies and just different characters and stuff. It's actually, it looked really good. It was very, very different from the one in Cumberland, at least from the last time that I went to the Cumberland location. And according to the website, again, they have 3 attractions there. Abraham, what you got?
Is that his actual name?
No, I just made up a name. Sounds good.
First up is Moonlight Mayhem. Your terrifying journey begins at the Moonlight Motel, and you'll trek your way through one nightmare after another. This is sure to be the scariest haunted trail you've ever traversed. Then you will venture through the Chamber of Lost Souls. Get lost in this twisted maze of darkness and fog as you try to escape the demented souls of the damned. But be warned, if your soul is not pure, you may just be lost here forever. And the third attraction you will find is Alone. Your worst fear becomes real, going through a terrifying haunted experience alone. This attraction sends you through one at a time so that you may traverse your own fears all by yourself. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool they do these. A lot of haunts won't go through the work to do something like that.
I'll put in the story.
I'm sure a lot do, but most don't. Right? I don't go on a lot of the websites, so I don't know.
I do just to see if they actually put up a story. And these aren't really stories, though. They're just kind of general, oh, you'll go through this place, and it will be terrifying, and you will be scared, and you might come out alive. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It's something.
Yeah, at least it's some. Yeah, because you are right. A lot of places don't even put in that effort. Not that they need to. I guess I just like it, but whatever. So there's 3 attractions apparently at this place, and I didn't see any other entrance signs for any of the other attractions. So I figured that it must mean that all 3 of these attractions are linked into one. And the one in Rhode Island does that too. It's just one big long trail. I don't even think they name it. The trail started at this Moonlight Motel. So it's a pretty cool facade of an old rundown motel. You could choose which door you wanted to go into. I think there was 3 of them. And when you go in, it's like a small bad vibe motel room with like a crazy girl or something on the bed. And it had sort of like a werewolf theme around it, I think. And the room's all connected in a back hallway, so everyone met up together quickly, no matter which door you picked. And I'm honestly trying to remember the rest of the trail, and I feel bad about it, but I think the few times that they dragged me through the place, I couldn't really pay attention that well, and I was more concerned about I might sprain an ankle or something, so I was just staring at the ground, making sure I was stepping on the right spots. You know, they had a school or a nunnery church type set, I guess. They had a big cannibal slaughterhouse set, a cool ice cream parlor set. That was fun and unique. I just wish it was detailed a lot better, mostly chipboard with paint over it. And I'd like it just to feel more real, but that's just me. Although I'm seeing a lot of pictures on video now, and I think that they did a hell of a lot more work to the place after our night. And they had a nice camper set, actually. Bunch of campers all over the place like it was a RV park neighborhood or something like that. And the whole time I'm looking to see where these other 2 attractions are. And I'm kind of confused on why they even called that Moonlight thing an actual attraction on its own, because it was much smaller than these other sets were when we went through. And I'm guessing the whole trail is supposed to be like the Moonlight Mayhem. But I thought that whole werewolf vibe in the hotel part was why they called it Moonlight anything. But eventually we came to the ending part of the trail. And I can't remember if there was a sign or not, but I'm pretty sure it was the Chamber of Lost Souls. Now, I've obviously experienced this stuff before, so this was another one of those fog tent situations, except it was just a long hallway. So there was no way that you could get lost. You just keep walking. Mm-hmm. Nick has not been to one of these things before. He's never experienced anything like it. And Nick was freaking out, and I was laughing about it. So I'm kind of bummed it was just the hallway and not a room that I could let him get lost in again, so I could be on the other side waiting for him. But we got out and back into this midway area that I was talking about with a bunch of those photo sets and stuff. They got Walking Dead, Krampus, Scream. You know, for some reason Harley Quinn was there because I guess she's part of the horror club now. I don't know what happened.
Oh wait, so what were these sets again? Were they just like
just like backdrops, like you could hold the chainsaw that was stuck in between the 2 doors that say "Don't open, dead inside," and zombie hands were coming out, or just.
And they made these all themselves,
yeah.
Or were they pieces they bought?
Oh, you mean like authentic pieces from the sets? Like the movie
or
sets
no, just like, you know, an actual like already built thing, or they built the whole thing.
No, they built the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, they did a good job. And in that area, I guess this 3rd attraction was just kind of there. Again, I don't remember seeing a sign or anything. And I'm asking this lady that looks like she's kind of at the door of this place. It's just black. It's just a black wall. I'm like, what's this place? And she goes, well, this is alone. This is the one where you got to go in alone. And I'm like, okay, yay. Freaking run right into it. And I swear to God, it was literally nothing more than like a bedroom-sized dark room with 2 actors. One had a blowhorn, and the other one had one of those little clapper prods or clicker prod, whatever you call them. It looks like a cattle prod, but it like clicks and makes a little electric spark, I guess.
Yeah.
And that was it. Quickest attraction ever, hands down, ever.
So it was just the room.
Yeah. I think we bumped into.
Wait, I have a question.
Oh, good.
So what's your opinion? Because I know there's a lot of haunts that do like that thing where you go in by yourself.
Yeah.
That obviously is going to slow down the lines and movement. So what's your opinion on that?
I guess, well, when you say it like that, then I guess they did the best job that they could with that type of attraction, because it's literally one person at a time and it takes them 5 seconds to get through.
Yeah.
But the thing that I don't understand is that I don't think you're actually scaring anybody with that, because the people that are saying, okay, I'll try to do this thing, they're not scared of being alone. And then there's ones that are going to be scared of being alone and they're just not going to do it.
And then you have the people in the middle.
Do we, though? Like, I remember when the Gulag had their extreme event, the Cult.
Yeah.
So this was like an extreme event that they had at the top of the mountain up there in Conway, New Hampshire. And there was a whole bunch of people that bought tickets to this extreme event. They called it the Cult. But these people don't know how to read when they purchase tickets, and it says you will be separated. You will. There's no and ifs or buts about it.
Yeah.
But they were telling me that there was a lot of people that got up there, mostly drunk people, and when they tried to separate them, they freaked out, and they wanted to like fight the actors. Say, no, you're not doing that. You're not taking me away from. No, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And you hear it from a couple of these other places that say that they want to separate people. Like, people get really mad. Like, they're not scared, or they don't even give it a shot. It's just like, no, I'm not going somewhere else and not being around my friend or my partner or stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's like you're either okay with doing something alone, which means you're not scared, because that's the whole point of it, right? Or there's no freaking way in hell you're doing it.
Right.
So I could be wrong. It's just, I guess that's
I also
my
think you have that, like I was saying, in the middle, like the group of like teenage girls and stuff that'll like do it just because they're like, it's kind of like a oh my god, but they'll actually go and do it.
I guess maybe, like I said, I could be wrong. I just don't really see it happening, and even if it does, I just don't think it's happening the way that they hoped it would.
Yeah.
Because I remember this particular, the way that they had it, it's like you walk in, and then maybe it's like a 6-foot hallway, then you turn around, 6-foot hallway back, and then you're in this room. And you can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So I think most girls would just like get to that point and then just bolt.
Yeah.
Right there, done. And I don't know. Maybe. You asked for my opinion, I gave it to you. Okay, are we done?
Yep.
Jesus.
No, but you didn't really. What do you think about that? Like, as far as, do you think those are good to have in a haunt, or would you rather just people not do them?
The way that they have it set up?
I mean, anyway, I guess.
The only fantasy that I've ever really had, if I was going to make a haunt, I would have something like that, but people wouldn't know that it's there. Like one of the things I always thought of was that if you have like a really unruly group of kids or adults or whatever, and they're walking through, then there's always going to be these random scenes in there where the actor will be told through an earpiece or something that this bad group is coming along. Shut door 1, open door 2. Then door 2 takes them to this side attraction where it's just a black maze that goes on forever. Right? That's cool. Then they eventually get out. They're not part of the rest of the good-looking haunt anymore. And I could see me trying to do that by separating just individual people, too. So I guess I would do it like that, too.
Yeah. I think the good way to do it is kind of what Gulag did, is make it like a separate charge. But you know, what am I trying to say here?
I don't know.
So it's not like you're not like holding up a line to it. If you're a busy attraction, you're not holding up a line, just putting one person in. It's a separate thing that someone has to go to.
Yeah.
So you're not holding up the line, and it's people that
Yeah, I guess.
it, you know?
Yeah, trying to make it part of the entire ticket thing, which I don't think this should have been a free attraction. This was, but yeah, I suppose you definitely would get a smaller line if people had to pay for it separately, I guess.
Yeah.
Because now people are thinking that they have to get the full value of the ticket, so it's like they have to go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right in that sort. But I mean, the Gulags was a whole separate attraction. It was a whole experience.
It was more elaborate.
Well, this doesn't compare to it at all. I don't know if you're understanding that. This is
No, I
literally
know.
turn
I'm
off
just
the lights
saying,
in
like,
your
in
room
general.
and walk from one corner to the other. You're done.
Yeah.
Gulag was a freaking 30-minute experience where you get freaking bugs on you and people are throwing you into coffins and shoving you down a ramp. Okay, that was we'll talk about that someday.
Oh yeah.
I get what you're saying. Me and Noobs have a long history with a haunt that used to be in North Conway called the Gulag, if you haven't listened to my other podcasts, and we love mentioning it all the time. Anyways, moving on. I think we bumped into one of the owners. It was either Zeke or Rich. I think Ken is another one of them. But they were in a clown costume and a CFX Max, so mask, and a CFX Max. Oh my god, I can't say mask. They were in a clown costume and a mask.
Did you say that right that time?
Yeah, I didn't say it. Just shut up. Okay. Well, whoever it was, they were kind of hinting that this place would be the main location eventually. Mainly because they're the sole owners of the property and they don't have to take down the sets or get approval or whatnot for things. And actually reading in on one of the reviews from the Cumberland location this year, they said that one of the owners down there even admitted that the Rhode Island location is crap. And they're focusing much, much more on the quality in the Palmer location. So I think that's hinting that eventually Cumberland one is going to go. And after that alone piece of nothingness, we headed out. And I guess it's sort of worth mentioning, too, that I feel like I keep getting mixed answers about this, but from what I understand, Rhode Island students have to complete a certain amount of community hours in order to graduate. And I think that's pretty common in most states, but in Rhode Island, they've said that working at a haunt counts as part of those community hours, or work-based learning, or whatever they call it. And it's all volunteer, obviously. I think the kids hear from older kids that it's the easiest and most fun option for them to get that requirement. And I see it very, very clearly in Rhode Island particularly, because no place I've ever gone to in Rhode Island feels like they've trained their actors at all. 13th World, Scary Acres, Haunted Labyrinth, Slater Park, Fortress of Nightmares, Field of Screams. It's always just a bunch of kids who threw on something random and cheap and went to some spot in the haunt and barely put in any effort. But at the same time, it kind of feels like the owners and directors are forced into that situation. Like they can't say no to that. You know, they can't say no to these kids. They're volunteers, and they don't have to commit to anything just so long as they reach their hours, I guess. So that could very, very well be another reason why the owners want to get out of Rhode Island. And also, like I said, in the Cumberland location, they operate in the town's public park. So it has to keep coming down and going back up every year. And that sucks. And that's not to say that I think that Rhode Island attractions are terrible. They have their flair, if you will. You know, it's not just about the actors. So everybody has their own little fun thing that they have, and that's why I keep going back to them. So all in all, I'd say that 13th World Palmer, which is officially called 13th World Fright Park, has a long way to go, and they have a great location with a lot of potential. It was a hell of a start this year, though it really should be a hell of a start for people who have been in the biz for 20 years now. And I should say or reiterate that I went on opening night, opening hour, and I saw a vlogger on YouTube post a video of the place. A few of the things that he got to put up on camera are things that I don't think I saw. And he went through like mid-season, but I don't remember the church looking like that. And I may have been forced to run through it, so I wasn't paying attention. And he has the Chamber of Lost Souls in his vlog too, which was something we didn't see at all. I thought it was just that hallway. No, there was a whole separate thing. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. But, so anyways, you know, here's hoping and wishing them great success in the future.
Yeah, it's good to see another haunt open in Western Mass, because there's not, you know, there's only a few out there, so it's good to see something else open up.
Yeah, I guess if we go with the common thought that Western Mass starts after Worcester.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that say it starts when you get outside of Boston.
I'm not one of those people.
I am never going to be one of those people. I don't even like saying that Worcester is part of Western Mass, but that's just me.
Worcester.
So we got Demented FX, we got McCrae's, 13 Nights at Jiminy, Six Flags. There's a couple really nice yard displays near Pittsfield, way out there. And there's like 4 or 5 that used to be there. I found something in Turner's Falls called the Skeleton Crew Theater this year. They've been doing it for years, and I've never heard of them until the day I randomly came across it in some old article somewhere. And it freaking ticks me off because, noobs, it was literally every damn day this year. I could just jump down an internet rabbit hole, and sure enough, out of nowhere, every day, come see the 24th annual haunted whatever. And I'm like, what? I've been searching and touring haunts in New England for freaking 12 years. I've never heard of you. Ever. What? It's crazy. Yeah. But this thing is still a bit of a mystery to me. It's like this theater company out there, and they make their own life-size puppet characters. And they have their own stage show, I guess, and they do it at the beginning of October every year. But they also advertise a walking trail and to bring your own flashlights, and I haven't really gotten an answer from them as to what exactly it is, but I'm probably going to check them out next year. It just looked very unique and fun.
Right.
All right. And now it's time for Review Roundup. This is where I expose a few good and not so good reviews of the attraction via Google, Facebook, Yelp, TripAdvisor, whatever I can find them on. I recorded that last night in my studio too.
The following voices are not the actual voices of the original content providers.
All right, let's start with here we have Kaylee Churchill, or is it Churchill, or Churchill? The world may never know. All right,
it will.
So on October 28th, 22, she wrote,
"For a new haunted house, it was good, but overpriced. I've been to amazing haunted houses for $25 or $30. $35 is kind of steep for a new haunted house with way less bells and whistles. I did love the touch of fear. I wish more haunted houses did that. I was pushed against a wall, pushed in a trailer, led around by Freddy Krueger, and tickled by clowns. I hope they add to it next year."
All right. Fair and honest review. I like it. How do you like it? I'm doing the text-to-voice stuff now.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, thanks, Jesus.
I mean, yeah, it's fine.
No, That was worse than what you said before.
All right.
Was $25 a lot? I mean, the industry standard has been $1 a minute for a long time. And I think this was about a 10-minute trail, so I'm not even going to bother adding that alone thing. And with all the other stuff that they had there, it definitely was more than just a $10 ticket. Pretty good sets, good actors. I'd say $20 is fair. $5 extra for the touch of fear, to me, is an all right deal. Especially if they do it right. You know, some places it's just like they tap you on the shoulder or like a light brush of the hair. So, yeah. And I think they did it pretty good. All right, we got another one from Facebook.
I have to clear something up real quick.
Fine.
So you said at one point the girl grabbed you by the wrist and brought you through like 2 rooms.
Yeah.
So you missed kind of like 2 rooms.
Yeah. Although I guess it's more of a thing that would everybody miss those rooms? Because like I said, I'm just focusing on my feet. That's just me, right?
Yeah.
Would everybody? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, no, it shouldn't happen. You're right. It shouldn't be like that. But at the same time, it is, like I said, it's kind of fun when you get to watch your friends get dragged into the freaking scary church, and you don't know what the hell is going to pop up, you know?
Yeah.
Where your friends
I was
pop
just
up.
trying to wonder if that was for a reason, or she just decided to do that, or...
Oh, I have no idea if there's like a taught-out trained strategy, or if they just kind of do what they want. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got another one from Facebook here. We got Mike Burns on October 29th, 2022.
I've been to haunted attractions all over New England and New York and Pennsylvania and Ohio for 30 years. This is the best one in New England this year. That surprised me, because it was the first year at this location. Pay the extra money for the VIP Express Lane and the touching. Don't bring anyone super afraid of clowns. They will come right out of their skin. Not much makes me jump anymore. These guys got me a few times. Totally worth it.
That's the best voice ever.
Yeah, that was a good way. It doesn't sound like robotic like the woman's one.
Yeah.
It sounds more like real.
Isn't that weird? And it's supposed to be one of the goofier ones. Anyways, now, I gotta say, whenever I read people saying that they've been to haunts all over the place for years, yeah, I instantly cringe. And then I justify that cringe by seeing if they've ever done more than just the one little blip of a review. And wouldn't you know it, there's nothing else. So I don't get how anyone can, honest to God, just travel to haunts and have nothing to show for it. You know, no ambition to do anything with it. But anyways, you know, this is the best one in New England. What? Pump the freaking brakes, Mr. Burns, okay? I can call bullshit, you know, on whether anyone has actually been to other great New England haunts all day long. And obviously everybody is entitled to their opinion, unless that opinion is wrong. You can't put this one up against freaking Haunted Overload, Fright Kingdom, Demented Effects, Legends of Fear, Barrett's Haunted Mansion, Nightmare on the Ridge, Salisbury Wood. No freaking way, okay? I'll admit it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, but the best in New England, yo. That just irritates the crap out of me when people make these claims and they act like they really know enough to make them. Like, dude, chill. This was the best one ever!
You literally have to have gone to everyone in New England to make that claim.
To make the official... well, no, even then, because you could have a weird opinion like me, but I just don't think that you should be saying the best one ever. You know? I don't think you should ever be saying that, regardless of how many. I don't care if you've been to every single haunt that has ever existed. You might have a better claim to say that, but you're still... there is no best. There never will be.
Well, it's just their opinion.
Yeah, but then it needs to be said like that. I think that this was the best one for me.
Yeah.
Not, this is, regardless of what anybody else feels. So, anyways. Let's see if we can find an angry one. I like those ones a lot. Okay. There's very few on Google, naturally. I mean, it's a brand new haunt. But here we have Jason Easty, and he only gave it 1 star.
Ooh.
I really wanted to like this place, but I absolutely did not. This is easily the worst haunted attraction I've been to. The set designs were very poorly done. It looks like everything was done on a very low budget. Speaking of low budget, some of the actors didn't have costumes at all. It's definitely not scary when someone is running up to you wearing a mask and a bright red Nike sweatshirt. Some of the actors also did absolutely nothing as my group went by. This is a poorly conceived cash grab at best.
Wow.
Okay.
Dude, the gloves are off.
I mean, literally, you can look up anything online, and there'll be any company, and there'll be a bad review about it. So
Sure, yeah. But I like this one. I like these bad reviews because they actually, like, detail stuff. You know?
yeah,
Well, some of them, yeah, you're right. Some of them are just going to be like, I hate it, I don't like it, I don't like anybody, my life sucks.
and most people don't go out of their way to write a good review about something. They'll only write a review when they have a bad experience or something.
True. I mean, well, I guess that's kind of why I have this segment here, to kind of really see what that's about. Because a lot of times there is mostly good reviews for haunts.
Yeah.
It's just that the good reviews, they don't say anything. But I'll just get into it. But this guy, you know, he actually said stuff. And I'm looking at the other 2 1-star reviews, and they say that same thing about the actors not in costume.
Yeah.
And I had to go back and check that vlog from, I think his name is Josh G Vlogs.
Yeah.
He actually did quite a few reviews around New England. I'm pretty impressed. But it's exactly that. They're just in store-bought masks with freaking sweatshirts, brand name sweatshirts or T-shirts even. It actually kind of opened up my eyes a little bit more that this place needs a lot of work. But I remember saying that about 13th World in Cumberland, too.
What does it have the same name?
It's still 13th World. It's just officially, you know, it's 13th World Fright Park versus 13th World. So, easily, these people could be just, where's 13th World? But there it is, boom. Oh, back to the good reviews. Okay, so here's Elizabeth Dyer, 5 stars on Google.
We have been to every haunted house in Massachusetts, Connecticut,
There it is again.
New Hampshire, and Rhode Island. Tonight's experience in Palmer was superb. We paid the $5 for the touching, and it was so worth it. The scenes were interesting and put together well. There were plenty of actors and lots of scares. I consider myself a haunted house connoisseur, and this was definitely worth the money. We fully enjoyed it,
Okay, fine.
and
You
we'll
liked
be
it. Got
back
it.
for
Good.
more.
Jesus. See that bullshit?
Every haunted attraction in New England.
I've been to every single one of them. No, you have. Shut up. See these freaking positive reviews? It was good. Ugh. Okay, now we have Daniel O'Keefe, 5 stars.
Spectacular. Not extremely scary, but so much to do and a really fun time. It's near train tracks, and we came out of an area right as a train passed. What great timing. Highly recommend if you want to walk with small groups, laugh, and scream.
I just love that. Right, it has a train. See, I like this review though. It's clean, it's honest. It isn't claiming that they know better than anybody else. They make it unique and personal, talking about the train and not just sets were good, actors were good, food was good, good. No, this is nice. I like this. So good job. Looks like nothing on TripAdvisor. The Yelp page has mostly reviews for the Rhode Island spot. Here we go. All right, here's Carrie Walker, 5 stars on Google again.
This was the best haunted house my son and I have ever been to. And we have been to many all over New England.
Oh, God.
We drove to ours from Salem, and we were not disappointed. We will definitely be back next year. First, I lost my email with my tickets, so I called them, and they were able to resend me the email, which was fantastic.
How do you lose an email?
Then we got there and had the fast pass tickets, which were extremely affordable. We were in the attraction within 20 minutes. The sets and the actors were great, with no shortage of actors around every bend. We didn't stop jumping the whole night.
Yeah, just jumped all night long.
The photo opportunities at the end were fabulous.
It was fabulous.
We stopped at the beginning to buy a souvenir sweatshirt and talk to Ken. He told us a lot about the business. We stopped again after we went through to tell him how fabulous it was.
Oh, fabulous!
Don't miss this one. It's a gem.
Who goes through a haunt and then goes, that was fabulous? Hi, Ken. Everything was fabulous. How's business? Jesus. We've been to every haunt.
You know what it is?
Yes.
They want to just like validate themselves as like knowing what they're talking about. I've been to this, so I know what a good haunt is. You know, I've been to every haunt around, so I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I guess I do that too. I write reviews on Yelp for just barbecue spots. I know for a fact that I have been to more barbecue spots in New England than anybody else. And I say that a lot, so you're right. I know that because there's nobody that would freaking wake up on a Sunday morning and then go, hey, there's a barbecue place 5 hours north from here. You want to go check it out?
But at least you can look that and see that you have like 200, hundreds of reviews.
Yeah, at least they can. Yeah, like I tell them that too. It's like, if you don't trust me, freaking click on my account and see how many reviews I've done and how many of them are barbecue places. And yeah, so I get it. I know, but it's just kind of like, I know what I'm talking about, and this place is good. You know why? Because it's good. The actors are good. The sets were great. I talked to Ken, and he's fabulous. So you can't say I'm wrong. And, you know, and that's just text, okay? It's very easy for anybody to look at a review and say, like, they sound like a jerk. Yeah, when you read it like that.
Yeah.
So, well, that's 13th World Fright Park. How'd you like it?
Sounds good. That
okay,
sounds, yeah. I mean, for a first year haunt, just getting their feet wet and figuring stuff out. You said it got better. It looked like they improved as the season went on.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I don't know if it's really just stuff that we missed or if they actually kept on adding to it. I don't know. I don't know what exactly. They shouldn't be charging full price if they know goddamn well that they're going to be improving it throughout the season, though.
Yeah. I mean, for its first year, so they're kind of like figuring shit out.
Well, that's the other thing, because these guys have been doing this since 2002.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that they've had this location for a while, because I remember seeing the listing pop up last year in 2021. Maybe even 2020 is the first time I saw it. And I thought it might have just been a mistake by Google, like maybe the guy lives there, you know, so he has mail brought there or something like that. And no, it turns out it was an actual location for the place. So I don't know. I don't know how long they've been working on the place. I know that they still had to open up the one in Cumberland, so I'm sure that took a lot of time too. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying that, like, if it's true, the Chamber of Lost Souls was an entire attraction that I feel I didn't see.
Yeah.
And it could very well easily have been, well, because you walked right by it. Or it could have been because we didn't really have anything. I don't know. So, like I said, I mean, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I just feel like I might have been gypped out of an entire attraction.
Right.
And also gypped out of things that might have made other attractions much more appealing, I suppose, if they started doing a lot more stuff during the mid-season, which I don't blame anybody for doing. It's just, how would you feel, you know?
Yeah.
You still paid full price, but you only saw really half of the attraction, you know? I don't know. So it's just,
plus the alone thing wasn't really...
Yeah, that was not a thing to me. It might have been a thing to some other people, but it was not a thing to me. And that is a t-shirt. Well, all right. Thanks for tuning in to episode 2 of the New England Haunts podcast. Next time, on episode 3, you can hear us talking about Duke's Spook House up in Meredith, New Hampshire. Another one, second year haunt there. Never mind, I didn't say anything and you didn't hear it. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.